I don't know how many people missed me last week, but I definitely miss the Boston crowd on Facebook, on Twitter, of course on Instagram and on our YouTube. My name is still Alija Adeboale, and it's the best sporting show in the whole of the universe. It's News Instant Sport, airing of course on our band radio school, proudly sponsored by Hypermatch, the new way to play your football fantasy league, and of course Bukenzo Glams, where you can buy all the accessories that you need, whether it's chair, bracelets like this, and whatnot. And of course, I'm here with two of the best analysts in the world. That's what I call them. I have Roku Kachi, or I've taken that crown away for him for the main time. And of course, I have Sheyi with me. I'll allow you guys to introduce yourselves, starting with Oroku Kachi.
Sport fans, we surely missed you and all your interactions last week, but that did not stop the world of sport from moving on. An amazing boxing event over the weekend, which we'll delve into, but shaping up to be almost doomsday for AC Milan as they have to play Napoli twice in 4 days in the coming weeks. How this will portend will determine if I will be on the show in the next 2 weeks. But stay tuned for a cracking one.
We'll drag you here.
Good to be here.
Shay.
Yeah, sports fans around the world, good to be back in front of your screen. And Kachi, don't worry, you will be back in front. Probably the win or the loss of AC Milan. You're welcome, everyone. It was not too national break, but we are here today to give you all the gist from football to boxing to basketball. Just sit tight and enjoy the show.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Sheyi. We have a whole lot to discuss today, and boxing seems to be pretty heavy on that one. I'm going to start with the Caleb Plant and Benavides fight. A crazy one, if you ask me. I'm pretty sure Sheyi and Kachi have one or two things to say about that. I'm going to start with you, Sheyi, on that one. It's punishment night for Caleb. According to you, you said it was punishment night. How badly was it punished on the night?
Yeah, Debo, thanks. I think it was a night of a beautiful boxing bout. Caleb Plant really held his own. Obviously, if you look at the super middleweight category right now, you have to look at the three guys. Talking about Canelo, Benavides, and Caleb Plant. Apparently, Caleb Plant's first loss in his career was to Saul Canelo. His second loss on the night is to Benavides. And he has actually fought quite a lot of top guys, including Anthony Dirrell, over the years. On the night, he came up tops in the first 5 to 6 rounds. He moved well. His defense was just on point. And I think it was only one or two judges that actually gave 1 round to Benavides on the night. But we are talking about the Mexican monster here. He also probably played his tactics right, waited for Caleb to, for the price of Caleb to also wane down. Because I noticed that he wasn't really into the game in the earlier parts of the bout. He was throwing his jabs once in a while, get close, but he was not aggressive at all. Caleb Plant was the more aggressive boxer. But after the 6th round, it was all Benavides. And when they talk about the Mexican monster, fighting a skillful boxer like Caleb Plant, you really need to see the reason why they call Benavides a monster. It totally dominated from the 7th round down to the 12th round. It seems as if actually resting for the first 6 rounds. Talking about tenacity here. And we're talking about a boxer that knows his trade. His jabs was on point. His jabs, in fact, the commentators needed to mention that his jabs were razor sharp on the night. Some people also believe that because of the grudge that was developed over the years between these fighters, Benavidez decided not to knock Killer Plant out, probably in the 10th round. It was all through Benavidez. It was dominant. It was all over Plant from the 7th round to the end of the bout. But on the night, to be sincere and to be fair, it was a fantastic bout of boxing. You can see two fighters at the peak and at the best of their trade. Boxes
Wow.
and punches with skill. That was a proper boxing bout. And I can tell you that there is a early contender for the fight of the year.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Sheyi. So more disappointing one, and I'm going to come to you, Kachi. Unless you want to give me one or two things about the Benavidez fight before we move to
Yeah, you can ask
now
a question.
cancelled.
You can ask a question, and
Okay.
I will chip it in before I answer your question.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So the Tyson Fury versus Usyk match. It's another match that everybody was looking forward to. We thought this was going to be like the fight of the year, but she predicted that we probably will not see this fight anytime soon.
Mhm,
It's supposed to be a unifying bout,
mhm,
and Yinka said it's something that the cabal within the boxing world would not want to see happen. How disappointed are you about this? We waited for Joshua AJ Fury match. We did not get that. I said that was not enough. We had this again.
Thanks,
Catch it.
Debo. And just before I go into answering that, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Caleb Plant, who has lost before this weekend, lost to Alvarez during that stoppage, I believe, in 2021, and now to Benavides. And the reason why I'm giving him credit is, unlike these two people I want to talk about now, especially Fury, Plant has not avoided anyone in his weight class. Uh, he talks the talks and he walks that walks. He may get
Walk a
beaten,
walk. Yeah.
but he comes there and takes his punches. He dies on his sword. He's carried away on his shield, figuratively. And it's a big testament to the character and the emotional intelligence he has. Now, coming to the question you asked me, I am extremely disappointed. Yes, Sheyi rightfully said, based on how things are working, we may not most likely see this immediately. And it's turned out to be correct once again. And for me, the single biggest common denominator in the AJ Fury, now Usyk Fury issue is Tyson Fury. I believe something is happening in that his camp. I'm not saying he's scared of anyone, but I just believe they are taking the intelligence of the boxing world for a ride. Um, for someone who has agreed to 30% of the purse and coming with coming with more belts than you currently hold. His demands on Usyk has become unbearable. I thought this was. I remember when I heard the rumors. I came on this show to say 2023 boxing is going to be on the front burner because we were getting the fight we
Yeah.
wanted to see. So this is extremely
Yeah. I've
disappointing.
been longing to see for a while.
Exactly. How possible it will be to resurrect discussions. I believe bridges have been burned. Chances to get a unified heavyweight boxing champion is almost
It's not
non-existent
difficult.
because Usyk now has to mandatorily defend his title in the WBA. It is a disappointment. These heavyweight guys seem to always choose who they want so that they can get the larger purse. They are not fighting for posterity, they are fighting for their pension. And as much as I love Tyson Fury, I believe he is the sole reason to blame for the breakdown in talks for this fight.
For this not happening. All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Rokachi. Sheyi, I'm gonna come to you. Is it safe to say Fury is skeptical? I won't want to say scared, but okay, I don't give up. So I'll say scared. Is it scared of music as a matter of fact? Because looking at one of the shows on a podcast, it was like the person that he had much trouble fighting against was someone that is as cerebral and tactical as Alex also that Usyk, and that gives me like a feeling like okay maybe he wants a little bit of more time for himself to train perfectly and understand the antics of Usyk. And it's feeling like that. He wanted 70%. I felt which I felt is not reasonable as a matter of fact to start with. And the guy acceded to that. So what's stopping you from giving us this fight? We need this fight. We want to see you battle against this kind of guy. I feel Fury is gonna win. But I think Fury somehow deep down inside of him is scared of this guy. Shay.
Um, okay, Debo, I don't think Fury is scared of Usyk, but I think Fury is being um, is just being very, very careful, and being very careful is, I think, is very, very key when it comes to you fighting for this kind of bouts. Is a fight for legacy. In fact, he has more to lose. Fury has more to lose, so we need to understand that.
Yeah.
I think he's dragging the fight on purpose. Number one, I
Hmm.
think he's not ready yet for Usyk. He feels Usyk might be a risky bout at the moment. And don't forget that the earliest active heavyweight boxer is Fury at the moment amongst the two champions. So if that
Yeah.
fight
Yeah.
breaks down, Usyk needs to fight someone to stay active. So that's automatically is going to give Fury maybe another 6 months thereabouts for them to sit down and talk about this fight. I knew that was going to
About the
happen
fight.
because it wasn't clear. It wasn't clear enough to me. So when this
The
happened,
direction.
I wasn't surprised. But I still think that if nothing changes, just the way Anthony Joshua really messed up his own opportunity at this.
Fight. Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, we'll still see this fight. It might not be this year. I said this earlier in the year. It might not be this year, but I still think the two fighters are still the best heavyweight fighters. Usyk is going to probably fight, I think, Daniel Dubois to retain his probably his belt, hopefully. Um,
Okay.
Fury might take on another fight before the end of the year. Then, most likely by next year, we'll see this. But don't let us forget that there are quite a lot of heavyweight guys that are becoming active again. Next week, Anthony Joshua will be back in the ring. I think what's his name? Few the
Yeah.
bronze bomber will also be back very soon, and also
Oh
the
yeah.
Mexican
Of course.
kid that beat Anthony Joshua.
And the
So
Ruiz.
Joshua.
Andy Ruiz, thank you very much. So if Fury is not ready to get back on the ring for the undisputed bout, there's possibility that he might retire and avoid that bout.
Is all right. All right. We hope that does not happen. Anyways, we'll move straight to the basketball world right now, and I'm going to start with what we finished off during the pre-promotion call, and that's what is happening at the Mavericks right now. Kachi, I was excited. You know, I'm a big fan of Kyrie Irving. I love Kyrie. He's probably the most skillful point guard ever in the history of the NBA. No doubt about that. He might not. He's not the best, of course. So don't misquote me. He's the most skillful point guard in the history of the NBA. And honestly, they were shaping up for good things coming to the Mavericks. The Mavericks were, I think, number 4 in the West or number 3 in the West as of the time that Kyrie came to Maverick. And right now, they are not even in the play-in. And when you told me before the production, I'm like, do you mean playoff? He said, no, play in. And I had to go check, and I'm like, wow, and that looks crazy. And according to your stats, they are 1 for 7 when Luka is alone on the court. They are 3 for 1 when Kyrie is playing without Luka, and 1 for 2 when Luka is playing without Kyrie on the court. And that shows me one thing. And that the one thing it shows me is Luka is the one that is the problem right now. Luka wants to play. Luka might be better alone, playing alone. And I see Luka, like I said, it looks like it just gives me a vibe of Kevin Durant. He can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
But at the point, you need to accede some powers. You need to reset some powers to your supporting character, your supporting cast. And that's what I think Luka should do at this point. You have the opinion. Okay, I want to hear your opinion, so I don't overshadow whatever it is I'm going to say. But for me, I'm putting all the responsibility, the need for the responsibility, on Luka's foot. Do you agree with me on this one?
Yeah, it's hard to dispute because the numbers tell that story. If we look at the numbers only, 1 for 7 when both Luka and Kyrie are on the court together tells you that they have not meshed. But it's also easy to understand because Luka, even with both of them on the court, is undoubtedly right now the better player because he has more in his repertoire than Kyrie does. However, I still agree with your opinion that Kyrie is probably the better facilitator. But then you have to consider Luka's age, being a young 24 going on 25-year-old against a 31-year-old Kyrie Irving. He is not clearly the second best player. This is not the same dynamic as when LeBron came to the Miami Heat and Dwayne Wade relinquished the key to the franchise to LeBron because he knew LeBron was
So
better and could do that. Right now, it is hard for Luka to relinquish. The biggest challenge, and I know Mark Cuban is a genius, but I'm sure even he knew he was taking a risk. That's why I gave Kyrie a prove it year deal, which is currently what he has. I proposed them having a sit down, which is something I'm not sure how that would happen, but it needs to happen. Probably Luka has to relinquish facilitation at the tail end of every game. You can start the game with as the PG, it does not matter. Because what I've realized is someone like Luka, he's heavily reliant on rhythm. And that's why I said, okay, let him start being the facilitator at the beginning of the game, get into his rhythm, get into the flow before he can become a scorer. Be the facilitator a la LeBron James, facilitate around your team, then just be a killer instinct scorer like Kevin Durant in the third and fourth quarter, with Kyrie now being the facilitator. Because Kyrie can still get his points. He can still get his points with similar to Klay Thompson. However, it is surprising, given the level of talent that they both possess, that they could immediately become dysfunctional. Because this was a team that was riding high. Before that move, I probably thought Luka Doncic was maybe third in the MVP voting. You can't say that now because not only are they losing, Luka is not playing to the best of his ability. So this is shaping up to be a failed project. It is sad, but one team that will be happy to hear the Dallas Mavericks struggling right now is the Los Angeles Lakers, because it's one less team. It's one less team for the Lakers to worry about.
They have to worry about.
Currently, it's so a struggling Dallas Mavericks tells me right now that apart from the first two teams in Denver Nuggets who haven't proven this in the playoffs, and the Grizzlies who also haven't proven it in the business end of the playoffs, the West seems to be.
Or the Sacramento Kings.
No, come on. Sacramento Kings are playing with house. They are playing with house money because no one expected them to do this. When the flashlights comes upon the Kings next season, exactly. I think they will fall. But it's a cautionary tale for the Dallas Mavericks, and it's really sad that everything Kyrie touches right now is turning to mud.
Kachi, just for the listeners and for our viewers, Kachi is just anti Kyrie, so
I'm
don't
not.
mind him so much.
I love Kyrie. I was
I
rooting for
understand,
Kyrie to
I
go to
understand
Los
when.
Angeles, but the
Yeah,
harsh
that would
reality
have been the
is,
perfect one. But anyways,
uh,
to hear my own opinion, I feel I agree with Kachi. This, but what I don't agree with Kachi is Kachi keeps throwing the issue, the age factor into it. Please don't throw the age factor into it. Once you're a big boy and you have that kind of talent, it
mhm.
comes with a responsibility. Forget that the fact that he's a 24-year-old boy. He is cerebral. He is smart. That boy, that guy called Bukadonji is smart. He's an embodiment of LeBron James. Is a reincarnation of LeBron James,
Can I
so
stop
to
you there?
speak.
Can I just
That's the
stop you
closest
really
that
quick?
we've seen.
Can I
Yeah,
stop you really
yeah,
quickly?
okay,
He embodies
yeah.
LeBron
Go
James in
ahead.
talent, but he's
Yeah,
similar to
yeah.
Ja Morant in mental aptitude.
If
They it
if
just
can,
lets you know
that's
that a 23 to 25-year-old is LeBron James is a unicorn.
that's what
Not everyone could mature as quickly as LeBron did.
Kachi, that's that. Yeah, I wanted to throw in that into it. Like now, if you have that kind of talent that we could probably compare you to LeBron, you have to behave or study him the way he does his own thing. And this is your franchise. You have to deal with it. Nobody's going to talk about Kyrie in the next 3 or 4 months. Kyrie is going to leave Dallas Maverick.
Mhm,
That's the surest thing. He's going to leave
mhm,
as a free agent. They're not going to give him a new contract. So he needs to do it. And they're like, oh, we gave him a good point guy a couple of months back. He could not do anything with it. He messed it up. He should not be that ball angler. He should not be like Russ Westbrook. Russ is
mhm,
just a triple double guy. That's all his basketball career is about. Triple double
mhm.
guy. Luka cannot go down like that. I'm like, okay, he's a good guy, he's a great basketballer, but he should not put that butt into his. Anyways, back to a more interesting one, and this is the LA Lakers. We've given them so much shit on this show, but the Lakers are really doing wonders right now. Back in the playing, possibly get to the playoff position. And I'm taking a step further. And I feel in the West with the current starkness that we have at the Lakers right now, everybody fits. LeBron coming back in about maybe 2-3 games
He's
from now,
playing.
or
He's
2 weeks
playing
from
right
now.
now. He's playing right now
See,
against the Bulls.
he's playing. He's playing right now. Oh, can you imagine? So LeBron is even back right now. And I'm looking at the West. I'm looking at Sacramento Kings. I'm looking at this dysfunctional Suns less KD. If KD is back, it changes dynamic. But without KD, Sun is just a watered down team. The Grizzlies that are having their own issues. Golden State Warriors. That is the only team in the West that I feel over a 7 course of game can beat the Lakers. For me, everybody is fit on Golden State Warriors side. Everybody is fit on the Lakers side. Any other person is just watered down. I'm looking at the whole of NBA in its entirety, even from the East. Kachi would disagree with me about the Celtics, but the only team that I'm scared for the Lakers for would be the Milwaukee Bucks. Honestly, that's the only team that I can see just two teams, and that's my opinion. I start to be corrected, Kachi. But how surprised are you, or how happy are you for the Lakers turning this thing around quickly?
Um, Maybe not for the Lakers, but for Rob Pelinka, because we gave him a lot of grief in his free agency ability, especially with the kind of contract, 4 years, 42 million a year deal he gave to Russell Wilson, and how much dysfunctional Russell made the Lakers team. But it's one thing to make a mistake, it's another thing to realize it, own up to it, take responsibility, and in almost one trade deadline, correct these errors. Because in Akimura,
That's my
in
bad.
D'Lo coming back,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the
Dilo,
Lakers seem to
Russell.
have found their mojo. They are currently 2 games behind the fourth seed in the Western Conference.
Yes.
Especially with the issues happening with the Dallas Mavericks now. The Lakers. Let's not forget that this team started 2-10, and I was on this same show in November, officially announcing the LA Lakers as dead. That I would be
Death.
surprised if they made the play-in. So I'm biting the humble pie. Yes, the job's not done, but the fact that they can right now win as much as they've lost. They have 37 wins, 37 losses, exactly 500 with about that's 74 with 12 games to go. Them to have a
Mm-hmm.
chance to not only make the play-in, but to make the playoff as a fourth to sixth seeded team. If they are healthy, obviously you have to take them
That'd be
serious.
magnificent.
You have to take them serious because the West is not as strong as the East. But I disagree with you in the
The
sense that I
East.
believe that the top three seeded team in the East can, over a 7 game series, and take care of the Lakers right now. Between the
Top
seven,
seven.
yeah, top three, the Bucks, the
Oh, okay, top
Celtics,
three.
and the
Okay.
76ers. I believe those
And
three
South
teams
Sixers.
are, if they, because they would host 4 more games, because by virtue of how many wins they have, I think they can definitely handle
Uh-huh.
the Lakers right now. But just making
And
the
and the
playoffs with
Lakers.
all the drama that has happened for the Lakers, if they make the
That happened
playoffs,
over, yeah,
it's a successful
that's
season.
magnanimous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. I totally agree with you. And of course, your school son, Ben Simmons, is out for the rest of the season yet again. I'm tired of talking about Ben, but Ben just likes the Ove, and here we are giving him back the Ove that is so much crave. And of course, the millionaire will be rested for the rest of the season because of a particular niggling injury that he has right now. We'll go on a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll be jumping straight into the world of football. Where we'll be talking about the man that has scored at least one goal for his national team in the last 23 years. My God, this guy is just the greatest of all time. Don't get away, guys. We'll be right back.